Attention! I need everyone out on the skid pad right now! If you do not know what a skid pad is, you probably won't be the chief donut maker.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Speedy's Garage YouTube channel. This week I'm going to continue and probably finish up the little series on the road to Chief Donut Maker. So when last we left off, I'll leave a link to the top to where we were. We were at the bottom of what I call day one. So there's day 0, which is the day we got there, which was just kind of us playing around with go-karts and getting to know each other, having some pizza. Day 0. Day 1 was actually the first real day of filming, which we had to get used to the cameras, we had to get used to the sound, we had to get used to wardrobe and makeup and all these things that go on behind the scenes of a production like that. And it was a massive production. Like I said, I was shocked at how big it was. That got us to the bottom of day 1. 5 people had been sent home. Somehow I was still there. So we're on to day 2, and we start off at the green room again. They always had us come in about 6:30, 7, right around in there. We'd get the time to have a little bit of coffee. We had wardrobe, like I mentioned. So now I'm day 2 of filming, and they had an outfit picked out that they wanted me to wear. It was the day with the black shirt with Dodge on it. So that was what they had me use that day. And the big things for that day were a screen test, is what they called it, and then a driving instructor time. Like they were going to put us in a Hellcat and have an instructor drive us around. And I thought the instructor would probably be one of the Radford Racing School guys, but we got a surprise. So we start off the day with them calling the 5 of us into the set room.
Now, if you're lucky enough to make it to the final 2 tomorrow, you'll be competing on the racetrack. So we thought a little crash course in performance driving would be good today.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay, it's time to meet your driving instructor. Mopar sponsored, 3-time NHRA Funny Car Champion, Matt Hagan.
You guys ready to have fun and go fast?
Funny car final. Blake Alexander whiffs the tires. Matt Hagan goes 391.0 at 330.96 miles an hour. And Tony Stewart Racing has entered the history books of NHRA drag racing as a winning operation.
He's going to be our driving instructor. So he's going to take us around the road course, and we're going to drive a red eye. The idea was, and he's going to kind of give us pointers on where to point the car, and there's cones, and there's all these markers on the track, and he taught us what those mean so that when you're racing or whatever, they're cues, and you can kind of use those cues like, okay, I know this is a braking cone, and they'll start off like 4, and then 3, and then 2, and then when you get to the 1 on the braking cone, you better be on the brakes, because that's like the limit, you know? And so he taught us all about that. And anyway, back to the green screen. That was the big test for the day. And they always, like I said, they kept us off our feet. Like they wouldn't let us ever get settled and give us a schedule to say, here's what you're going to be doing today, or even, you know, even a table of contents. We had no clue. They always wanted it to be a surprise. And I guess I get it. They want our reactions, and they want us to be able to think on our feet. Well, as we're leading up to doing our green screen tests, end up going in and talking to some of the Dodge folks, some of the Dodge and marketing team. They're like, hey, you know, we really want to see you and your personality today. So everything you're doing today, just be you. You know, be really everything you want us to see about you. And they said yesterday, Katie and Goldberg were kind of leading the way. Today, you guys are leading the way, which I thought was kind of a cool way to do it. And I had a little bit of trouble the first day because it's like they're kind of reading lines on cue cards behind us, and I wasn't sure when to interact because I didn't want to be laughing or clapping or talking when they were about to read a line and it get awkward and they have to cut and do it all over again, because all that stuff's expensive. Every time you have to keep filming and cutting and starting over, it takes time and money. So I was trying to be careful about that. And so I struggled a little bit that first day with the timing of things. Well, now that I know we're kind of in the lead, then I could just kind of do my thing and let them fill in around me, which made it much, much easier, to be honest. So day 2, I actually really enjoyed. I had a really good time. So they called me for the green screen. And I don't know how much of this they're going to show on the show itself when it airs or however they do it. But the way it went down is they call me up to a door like they always did. Hey, Speedy, we need you over here. And I go over. Sydney took me to the primary director, and his name was Eddie. We get to the door. He's a very cool guy, by the way, very steampunk kind of style about him. I'll show you a picture of me and him right here. Very cool dude. Gets me to the door. Didn't tell me what to expect. He's like, when I say action, you go through the door and just follow your instructions once you get in there. So I hear action, I open the door and I walk in. Here is Bill Goldberg sitting at a desk. I walk past him and I go over and there's a mark on the floor where I'm supposed to stand. I get to my mark, there's a green screen behind me. There's a TV in front of me and one of those big movie cameras behind the TV. And Goldberg tells me, whatever you see on the screen, I want you to describe in enough detail that if a person was blind, they would know what you were seeing. You're going to be their eyes today. And I thought, well, okay, this will be interesting. And he says, all right, we're ready, everything's set. And the TV pops on and it's drag racing. It's a couple of demons. It was actually Woodward. Because I'm describing the racing and I'm really getting into it because, you know, at Challenger Fest sometimes I have to announce on the PA. You know, sometimes we have a really good announcer named Smokin' Joe. Sometimes he can't come and I have to do it because, you know, the track people can't do it all. And so I'll sometimes announce and all that. So I had a little bit of experience doing that. So now I'm kind of getting into my element.
Woodward Avenue, we're on Woodward Avenue. We're in Michigan. Come on, folks, let's get those hands together.
Next clip.
And so I'm announcing, talking about the tire smoke and all this kind of stuff and trying to describe the colors of the cars and all that. And Goldberg kind of goes, what street is it? And I look, it's Woodward. I'm like, holy crap, they're on Woodward Avenue, right? So I start talking about that. They're obviously at Roadkill Nights. That was the event I was watching on the screen. And then it like flips to, and I'm doing this from memory, a white Charger like sales commercial on TV. They're showing like the tail lights and the Hellcat emblem and the flat black hood and the flat black top. And I start describing all of that. And then it cuts to I think it was a red eye maybe drifting on a road course, and I have to describe that. And then it gets to a black top fuel car, and it's in a wind tunnel. And that one kind of was a little bit hard, you know. It was like the wind going down the side of it or whatever, and I'm trying to describe all of that. And I wished I would have said something like, you know, is that Goldberg sitting in his car? Holy crap, get him out of there before he goes all Hulk smash and destroys the place, you know, or something like that. And then they show like a backdrop with a couple of brass posts like you're on a red carpet event. And Katie runs over, Katie Osborne, with a ball cap and a t-shirt on, like she's a Dodge fan. And she's like, oh my God, you know. And I'm like, well, okay, I guess I'm supposed to interview her. And I'm like, well, why do you like Dodge? You know, what's your favorite color? And then Goldberg's like, she's a nutty fan, get her out of here. So I had to like shoo her off the stage and everything, so that was all fine. And at the end, they start showing this stuff and I couldn't tell what it was.
Eggs. I think it's eggs.
It's donuts.
Donuts. Oh my God, my favorite food. What's your favorite donut? Leave me a comment, let me know. My favorite is chocolate raspberry. Hey, just saying.
And it looked like just little white dots. And it looked like maybe a hen house. So I thought it was eggs at first. And I'm like, are they trying to throw me off with these eggs? Are we talking about breakfast? And then they scan back and it's raw donuts before they're fried in the oil. And I'm like, oh, it's donuts. And they drop into the oil and it's like, is it Krispy Kreme? Yada, yada, yada. And then you just see donuts going down a conveyor belt real slow. And I don't know how much of that they're going to show, but I promise you, I had to talk about donuts going down the conveyor belt really slow for like 2 minutes. You try doing that on your feet without any idea it's coming. It feels like it takes forever, and I'm just blathering on about coffee and donuts, and it's bad for your six-pack, and blah, 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 blah. And so I got through that, and I thought I did pretty good.
Donuts and more donuts, and I'm like, keep talking about the donuts. Hey, Katie, what do you do for the weather?
And when I get outside, the other folks that saw it told me I had done good. So I felt good about it, even though I thought, man, I'm just running my mouth. But I'm good at that, as you can tell. I've been talking a lot today. We got out, did like the hero walk across the track. Y'all have probably seen that. And we lined up, and it's another elimination. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And honestly, this is where I'm starting to get nervous because the next eliminations, you're down to the 2. And I enjoy this stuff, don't get me wrong. It's fun. I really like being in the car culture. Having been dealing with the video production stuff, it was a lot of work and I was exhausted. I was having trouble sleeping because of the time change and everything on my mind. And it's, you know, I don't really get stressed per se, but I get anxious when a lot of this stuff's going on. And I was having trouble sleeping. So I'd only had, this is like Thursday, and I had only had maybe 5 hours of sleep since Monday. And so I was struggling a little bit. And we're standing up there and they're about to call the final 2. And I'm thinking, man, you know, I wonder who it's going to be. And Artie, I thought, had done really, really well. He was very comfortable in front of the camera. I mean, everybody did good, don't get me wrong, but Artie was, he's a video producer, and Artie Shaw Jr., he was very comfortable in front of the camera.
We've got smoke, we've got excitement, we've got people coming to see one thing and one thing only, and that is Mopar.
Lauren was still there. She was, you know, very kind of happy-go-lucky, easygoing. We had Preston, and Preston just kind of has a presence about him. He's a real tall, you know, we kind of teased him, called him the Rock. And Melissa, who's like a little stick of dynamite. She's like 5'1", drag races, compact, ready to go. And so I'm thinking, man, who in the world could it be?
Our first finalist to make the top 2 in our Chief Donut Maker competition is Lauren.
Congratulations.
If the next name is not yours, I'm very sorry. But you've run out of gas, and for you, this is the end of the road. And that person is Preston.
Well, they call Lauren, and then they call Preston. But in a way, I was like, whew, okay. And I immediately felt the relaxation step come down a notch. The cool thing was, the 3 of us kind of go off to the side and we're done. Dodge and the marketing company come over and they're like, you guys were all great. So we want to figure out something to do with you outside of Chief Donut Maker. And so maybe they will. That was my experience through Chief Donut Maker. I don't know what happened past that because I wasn't there. We left the next morning and Preston and Lauren went on to compete. I'm gonna have to watch it on whatever media they provided on, just like you will. By then, maybe I can talk about it. I might come back at the end of this and talk a little bit about what I saw. But really a lot of fun, a fantastic experience. I made some great connections. Katie Osborne, phenomenal. She is literally like a sister to me. I mean, she was always very calming, very smart, very charismatic, super funny. She is definitely in the right job. And I'm gonna tell you something else. Goldberg, big old rough tumble, wrestler guy, heart of gold. He came over after we were eliminated and gave me the biggest bear hug that I think I've ever gotten, and he's like, dude, you're awesome, and just his desire to be a positive influence on us was really crazy for the level of celebrity that he has. So he is a real deal, good, down-to-earth car guy. Same thing for Katie Osborne. I can't say enough good things about them. So that's it. That was my story at the Chief Donut Maker deal. Please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I hope you did. Check us out on Instagram. It's @Speedy's_garage, as well as the website, www.speedysgarage.net, and hopefully I will see you out there.